Okay, so we got this article here previewing the Pacers Magic game, and looks like our listener wants us to go a little deeper than just a simple prediction.
Yeah, I see that. Wants to get into the nitty-gritty, the strategic matchups, all the factors that could swing the game.
Exactly. So we're diving into this Pacers Magic matchup.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting clash of styles. You get the Pacers who, I mean, they are just an offensive juggernaut.
Yeah, high octane.
Yeah, versus the Magic who they've really made their name on the defensive end. They're like a defensive wall.
Defensive wall, exactly. And the article really does a good job, I think, of laying out some of the key elements here, and not just, like you said, not just predicting the outcome, but sort of dissecting the different ways the game could go.
Yeah. So to start, let's talk about offense. I mean, the article highlights both teams' scoring ability, but I think the Pacers, they're in a whole different category.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, they're averaging like 118 points a game, which is tops in the league.
Yeah, I mean, they are a fast-paced team, and it really shows. They push the ball. They love to get out in transition. They're not afraid to shoot the three.
Yeah, and they play at a pace of over 105 possessions a game. I mean, that's like watching a video game on fast forward.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch for sure. But the article points out that pace can also be a double-edged sword.
Right.
Because the Magic they've been phenomenal defensively.
Yeah, they are.
They're top 5 in the league in defensive rating. They really make teams work for every basket.
Yeah, and they're holding opponents to under 45% shooting, which is, I mean, that's really good in today's NBA.
Yeah, that's a really good sign that they're doing something right on that end of the floor. And so, I mean, if they can disrupt the Pacers' rhythm, force them into taking tough shots late in the shot clock, that could really be the key for them to win this game.
Yeah, and speaking of key players, the article really highlights Tyrese Halliburton as kind of the engine for the Pacers.
Absolutely. He's the catalyst for everything they do.
He's averaging over 22 points, 10 assists. Just, I mean, he's so dynamic. Do you think the Magic have any chance of shutting him down?
I mean, that's a tall order for any team, right? Yeah. Halliburton's just so crafty, so good at creating his own shot, but also getting his teammates involved. But the article did suggest that the Magic, they might try to focus their defensive game plan on him, trying to trap him on pick and rolls, force the ball out of his hands, make somebody else beat them. They might even put a dedicated defender on him, somebody with length and athleticism to try to wear him down over the course of the game.
Yeah. And, for the Magic, the article highlights Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner.
Yeah, a dynamic duo.
Yeah, and they've just been dominating in the paint this season.
They have. They're averaging 45 points and 15 rebounds combined. That's a lot of production.
I mean, that's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So that kind of sets up, this interesting matchup within the matchup. Do the Pacers try to counter that, maybe with double teams, force them to pass out of the post? Or do they just say, you know what, we're gonna stick to our principles and we're gonna dare them to score over our individual defenders?
Yeah, it's a classic strategic dilemma for the Pacers coach. Do you try to take away their strength? Or do you just kind of, live with it and try to win the game in other ways?
Yeah. And as much as I love all these offensive fireworks, the article really does make a strong case for the Magic's defense as a potential game changer.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they force a lot of turnovers. They're averaging over 10 steals a game, which is, that's incredible. They get their hands in the passing lanes. They're very active. And then they turn those turnovers into fast break opportunities, easy baskets.
Yeah. So can they really slow down this high-octane Pacers offense?
Well, that's the big question, right? The article did point out that, perimeter defense is going to be key because the Pacers, they love to shoot threes.
Oh, yeah.
And they're very good at it. So if the Magic can, run them off the three-point line, contest those shots, force them into taking more, mid-range jumpers, contested layups, that'll really disrupt their flow.
Right.
And that's how they'll have a chance to kind of slow them down.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can't forget about home court advantage.
No, you can't.
The Pacers have been really tough to beat at home.
They have. Their fans get really into it.
Yeah.
It's a loud arena, and the Pacers seem to, they seem to feed off of that energy.
Yeah. And the article even goes as far to say that home court could be the deciding factor in this game.
Yeah. It's definitely a factor, especially for a team like the Pacers that, like I said, thrives on momentum.
Yeah.
Fast breaks, getting the crowd into it. But we can't discount the Magic either. I mean, they've been road warriors this season. They've gone into some tough arenas and pulled out some impressive wins. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for either team, I'll tell you that.
So, we've kind of dug into all these factors now. What's your take? What's your gut feeling on this game? Who do you think has the edge?
That's a tough one. I mean, honestly, it's really too close to call. I think both teams, have a legitimate chance to win this. The Pacers with that explosive offense, you got the Magic with that stifling defense, and I think the article does a great job of highlighting the key matchups, the things to watch for. But ultimately, it comes down to execution on the court. Who makes the big shots down the stretch? Who adjusts better?
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a little bit of luck involved too.
Of course. But that's what makes it so exciting.
Right.
The unpredictability, and you've definitely given us a lot to think about here, a lot to watch for. I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, me too. I mean, keep an eye on those key matchups that we talked about. Watch the pace of the game. See how the coaches adjust their strategies as the game goes on. This one could really come down to the wire.
Well, and those are the things that really elevate the viewing experience, right?
Absolutely.
When you can really understand the nuances of the game, the strategy involved, the chess match between the coaches, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for diving into this with me. This has been a great conversation. I'm ready to watch this game now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Enjoy it.
All right, take care.
You too.